Okay. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, Maria. Hello, Inspiration and Oroville Nation. Hey, guys. And we should be getting some more on pretty soon, really fast. If you're on, please do comment so I can get going. And it's only 1 o'clock, but that's when we were supposed to start. So there we go. All right. I'll introduce myself first because I think that's going to be important. So I'm Alena Chapman, and hey, howdy back. I am Alena Chapman. I am a mystic and also a soul nurturer. And I live by my soul, and I help others to do so too. I'm also a two-time international best-selling author. Oh God, what else? I've got a new book coming out. Oh, I'll show you because I should. This is going to be coming out real soon. Hello, Soul. It's a good book. It's gotten incredible reviews from everyone who's read it so far, and I'm very excited. And it's already out on Kindle. So if you want to get it beforehand, go to Kindle. It's Audible. I love Audible books, so whatever. And I also have a new show coming out called Mystical Muse, which is very cool. But okay, let's get out of that. Now, today I am so excited because we are going to be talking about stuff that I love. And I think asking for a friend. Oh, what is a mystic exactly? Oh, okay, I'll answer that. A mystic. Interesting. A mystic is different from like a psychic witch or something like that in that they're always looking, they can see, they don't always look, some of them are, but you can see source, the fountain of life, um, let me see, chi or God in every living thing. You can hear it, you can communicate it, you can feel it in everything. The trees, the animals, the other people, you can see it in them. And you understand that everything comes from one source, whatever that may be. Okay? You do a lot of things from the psychic level. So like a shaman almost. But it's that relationship with source that makes you a mystic versus something else. Otherwise, you could be a shaman, you could be a psychic witch, you could be whatever. I do a lot of things on the psychic level. I help people a lot on the psychic level. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, which is so cool, which I find so exciting. So I hope that helps. So a very spiritual soul. Exactly. Thank you, Orville. Yes. Maria, congratulations. Thank you. All right. So I hope that clears that up. Now, I'm going to preface all of this with something that I think you're going to love. The quantum physics of this world has finally caught up with things that I do, which amazes me. I'm so happy. And I've always had a little tad of love of science along with spirituality. I love when they coincide. I love when they start to prove things that I've already known and practiced for so many years. And I don't know why. And that's why my oldest son is in physics, although not quantum physics, although I would love to push him more into that, but that's another story. So here's the new discovery. And you probably have been seeing glimpses of it all over YouTube because it's very new. Dr. Lipton puts it really well. Dr. Lipton, Bruce Lipton, I absolutely adore. He is a doctor. 1969, he showed how, you like that word quantum? Me too. The wonderful, he showed that cells were affected by environment, not so much by genetics. We still don't follow that, but he has experiments that do that. And I just think he's phenomenal. But anyway, this is the thing. They have shown that we have this incredible energy field around us, which is no news. You get your aura read or whatever that is. But we already know that we have energy. Most of us know that. And I have always felt very strongly that the soul is within us, that energy is within us, that chi, and it surrounds us. And if you practice any qigong or anything that moves that energy, even yoga, if you get a flowing kind of yoga, you are moving that energy. You are creating vitality in that energy. So, but this energy is all around us and in us. But here's the cool thing. Oh, yeah, never mind. I will tell you this. I should have prefaced it, but I like this. When we are meditating, we become spirit. That means that whole area of energy is bigger and bigger. And when we talk like I am to you, or in a conversation, or we interact somehow, then it gets smaller and we become what quantum physics says, not Alena Chapman, we become matter. Now, this is incredible. Now, what does that prove? Well, number one, quantum physics is saying that all matter is actually energy. What do I say mystics do? We look for the energy, the source in everything, right? Isn't that cool? If everything is energy and we are energy in our meditation and we are big, well, that's why they're saying in physics that energy moves energy and only energy can move matter. And they are saying that, which is incredible. So those meditations that you do, they are extremely powerful. And today, the 3 things I'm showing you are done in meditations. It's learning how to harness the meditation. Okay? This is really cool stuff. So, and if you really want to learn, this is a really cool, okay, I got to get off on my little physics things, but one more thing. If you understand this, then when you go back to this experiment that they did called the 2-ply experiment, which they used photons, and they played with those photons. Now my son does this, which I think is so interesting. And little beams of light, all right? Maria, okay, as a Zen priest, yes, it is something common to practice. When the mind is still, you can hear. Yes. I love this. Yes, I agree. Yeah, Zen. Ooh, I love it. Anyway, in the 2-ply, they found that the photons would create impressions on this board according to what we and our minds would expect to see. Watch Dr. Quantum on YouTube. It's very easy to understand. It's layman's terms. It's in cartoon form. You couldn't get more entertained, but you will see how all those light photons changed by the expectation of the scientist and what he was expecting to see. It's really cool. That's the mind, our energy affecting other energy. See? Cool stuff. Now, let's get to what we're going to talk about today. Now that you've got that little preface in your mind that you really do have this power and that it's proven on every, from science to spirituality to even some religions. A Zen priestess, right? Yeah. So, all right. We're going to talk about 3 of them. We're talking about remote viewing, astroplaning, and quantum leaping or quantum jumping. Okay. I always called it quantum leaping. I always called it astroplaning. There's also another term for it. I keep forgetting. I'll find it. It's in my notes. But anyway, let's begin if you're ready. All right. First of all, the wonderful remote viewing. Now, guys, we treat this stuff like it's so woo-woo. Remote viewing, and I have some very good friends. What was this? God, he does it for the police departments and everything. That is probably one of the hardest things for me. Not that I can't do it. I do it naturally, actually, believe it or not. But it's still, it's not as tangible as I like. Okay. But remote viewing has been used for a very long time. And I don't know if you know this or not, but it's been used in our government for, God, since the 60s or 70s. And I'm looking at the comments, sorry. And there's a guy, if you want to learn what he did with training people for the government to use in wars and to use in surveillance, and now they use them to find out when there's an abduction or a missing person. Okay, so what is remote viewing? It's actually when we can get into that part of our mind. Florence Schivel, she used to say that it is the God mind. It is the pituitary gland. It is the third eye. It is opening up to something past our conscious mind and higher than the critical mind. And it is allowing that to lead the way instead of what we think is logical, which I am just proving to you that it's not. And we allow ourselves to get a glimpse of something else, usually directed. Now, with remote viewing, you are getting images. You open up that part of the mind through a meditation and letting yourself go. When you get good at this, you don't necessarily need the meditation. You're already there. You can open it easily, like I can on the other things. You just click into it. Me, I can hear somebody start to talk, and I can all of a sudden I can transport into that area. I tried to do, okay, for instance, I tried just remote viewing, opening myself to where my son is. My son is in France right now. And then I called him and said, "Is this right?" And I said, "Okay, what I'm seeing is old buildings, cars parked almost on the sidewalk, lots of cement. It's cold. I can see laughter. I can feel laughter." And I texted him and I said, "Where are you? What are you doing?" And he said, "We're walking down the street." Ah, see, that's remote viewing. And it's open. Yeah, and you're saying, "Alena, come on." Seriously, we have more powers with our mind that we have never explored. And it really is opening up past what we've been taught. Most of the work I do with people is opening up that, what I call the glass ceiling that we have formed by people telling us we can't do, we can't see, we can't be, we can't exist. And this is one of those things. New Thinking Aloud. What is his name? I really want you to have his name, which I really, really love him. What is his name? They used to call this a type of ESP. The government calls it ESP. Where is he? I really want you. I think it was Schwab. His name was, oh yeah, Stephen Schwartz. Schwartz. Yeah, he's the one that you want to listen to those interviews. They're very good, very smart man. It's amazing. These people that have opened up way before we did, So that's remote viewing. It does not take leaving your body. It does not take anything. And usually all these little things you get are kind of sketchy. You get pieces here, pieces there that kind of describe it. You try to get, if you're looking for a lost child, they're always trying to get like a sign or water or something distinguishing about it. But that is remote viewing. But you remain in this room. Me, I like to touch something of the person's that really helps me, or be where they were. That helps me. But I wouldn't do it as a living. Let's put it that way. Now, so that's remote viewing. Now, let's start getting to the fun stuff. Astroplaning. Astroplaning, I learned, I guess I should say this. Don't ever be afraid to try. Because, on my spiritual journey, which before I was unconscious competent, and then when I decided to learn all this stuff, I was not doing it right. Even my meditations, I was giggling. I mean, I was not the perfect, oh, I am the perfect student. I'm so ready. I was not. And I mean, but the astroplaning was the first thing that I did that I thought, oh my God, this stuff is real. And it came so naturally for me. What is the astroplaning? Why is it different than remote viewing? All right. So astroplaning is actually when our energy, our soul leaves our body and travels to distant times, other worlds, other dreamlands. In fact, you'll hear it in history constantly. And even to this day, we astroplane when we dream. I can always tell you can tell when you astroplane when you dream, by the way, because if you wake up really tired and yet you've been sleeping all night, and it's because you were gone, you were doing stuff. It's an astroplane. You astroplaned. And we also have, in the shamanic belief, they do a lot of astroplaning. Astroplaning is leaving the body. Okay. All right. So, what does that mean? It means going into a meditation, getting into that theta state, and allowing yourself to go. And you don't have to worry. You see all these shows, you see all this stuff that says, oh, you'll get lost out there. No, you always have a cord to this wonderful body that we reside in. You always have a cord. And I always work with my wonderful guide, Joan, who takes care of me. And you can go anywhere. Now, the first time I did this, I was sitting in a group learning in a class. And we got into our meditation. She said, well, just astroplane into a place that you sort of know. And so I went into my sons. My sons were littler then. They were all at home. And I decided to go see what they were doing. This is so fun. And I astroplaned into the room that they were in at home. And I saw that they were doing some things they shouldn't have been doing. They were touching things that they shouldn't have. And they were watching a show that wasn't allowed, right? Boys are boys. There you go. And so when I got home, I said, hey, were you guys watching? Mom, how did you know? Mom. And so that proved to me it was real. And then another time, I think I've told you, maybe I haven't, and I haven't on, I do, since I was very young, I have lost souls come to me and I always open the light and let them in to heaven or light or where we are home, So that kind of world has never been foreign to me. But I was doing a workshop last year where I was opening the veil for people so that they could see in their meditation some of the things I can see. And we astroplaned, and I got permission to show one of the beautiful houses of heaven, which was all the animals and the characters that reside there. And so I opened it, and I got everybody there. And then I always like to make sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be, because I don't want anybody to have a bad journey. So I was there, but I was kind of staying in the background. And when everybody came out of the journey, two of the people from the workshop said to me, you were there, Alena. Isn't that cool? Astroplaning. So what do? You get the freedom to go. You let yourself get into the theta state. You really need to be in the theta state. Why? Because you're beyond your place of logic reason. And you're to stay there. Don't go back into the logic reason. And it almost feels like your imagination. Trust it. Allow yourself to trust what you're imagining. Allow yourself to drift totally up with it. What can you do with astroplaning? Everything. Everything. You can visit people, like I said. You can help people. I help people with it by removing bad energies or whatever in their homes. I don't even have to be there. I was helped heal. The first time I ever did a healing, it was with oh my gosh, what is her name? Ah, she is a very famous female shaman. I can't believe it. Anyway, she said, "Go ahead and do this." I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah, try it out." And so I did. And she said she felt everything, that I was totally there. So experiment with this. It's really fun. And when you trust is the key. If you trust that you're actually going there, then the more it builds, the more freedom you get. And yes, you heal people with it. Yeah. And then you actually go, you're actually there. You leave, you're there. And it is really something that I think we have all done in all history. I don't think this is anything new. You're asking questions. Do you recommend binary beats for meditation? Yes, but listen to what your binary beats are for, because binary beats have all different um, purposes. Why? Because, my dears, they're vibration. And so the binary beats cause a vibration that gets you aligned into the different levels of sleep or hypnotism or trances. The drum, where's my drum? I always have a shamanic drum. That is actually perfect. Um, the drum is totally, the beat of the drum is the correct, it's the universal heartbeat of the world. That's what it represents. And the shamans knew that that was really the greatest way to get into the trance. Every time I use that drum, I even, at one place, I even go up and I do just drumming, and everybody goes into a trance and everybody is doing the drumming. And oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful thing when everyone's drumming and everybody transcends immediately because it's the universal heartbeat. It is just the timbre of it. Okay. You do? Oh, I love drums. I love drums, Maria. Yeah, yeah. All right. So that's astroplaning. This was only supposed to be 20 minutes long. Oh, we're not bad. Okay. Astroplaning, I say experiment with, have fun, trust yourself. I have met some of the most, I often go to what I call my council, and I am there. I've been healed there. I have been, that's where I get my advice, my teachings, my everything from there. And in my toughest times of my life, that's what allowed me, it's that trust, allowed me to see the signs that were there to help me. Like when the insects were all walking around me in a circle clockwise, none of them touching me, none of them fighting, just doing a little march around me, showing me that we are all one and it is one source. And that everything I feel, every tree, every grass blade, even the water, everything feels what I'm feeling. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. You just have to open your mind and trust. I don't say believe, I say trust. Okay? Now, let's go to a fun one. But astroplaning is a blast. All right? And just try it. Just try. See what you can do. And now, quantum leaping, quantum jumping. Now, self-improvement has taken this on. And I find it very interesting because it is very spiritual. It's not just, it's not just, it is a mental exercise. I guess it's very much working on the psychic level, which I always say is more spiritual. Because without the spirituality, you tend to get lost, it seems like. Meaning you get tired, you get You don't understand the purpose of it in the long run. It's just like a little game. But when you add the spirituality with it, or the belief system behind it, for some reason it just never ends, and it just opens and opens and opens like a flower. I, I just think it's that belief that carries you through. But quantum leaping and quantum jumping, I really feel in my heart of hearts that this is the big giant secret that was left out of the secret. I'm serious. Because without it, the, the faith falters. The faith that you can become this thing that has its goal, it falters. All right? You need something more. Now, quantum leaping or quantum jumping is getting yourself again into that theta state, into that trance-like feeling, and just allowing your mind to jump parallel realities. I talk about parallel realities a lot in my art, in my, what is it? The Illusions and the Art of Manifestation. My presentation, I forget the name. Yes, Illusions and the Art of Manifestation. So when vibrations are like alternate realities, and if you start thinking of them as parallel alter realities, then you'll start to understand how it's a total engrossing. That's what we got wrong. Because if we think of it as just a vibration, then we force ourselves to be happy and we're supposed to get everything in return. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. It really doesn't. Like a money vibration is not necessarily a happy vibration. You know, I know a lot of happy people who are really broke. It is a whole reality change. I see so many people who are striving to be happy. Well, they're not in that reality. They're staying in this reality, trying to function in that reality. You can't do it. You can't. It's too hard. No. That's the one thing I learned in my life in a very hard time when people were throwing me into this. God, they wanted me in this awful place. And it was, court proceedings, and I don't know who was doing it. I can't say it by law, actually. But they were throwing me into this paranoid, awful world of dog eat dog. And I didn't want to live there. That was a reality I did not want. And so I learned by survival, not by anyone telling me, how to alter and change my reality from what they were creating. And that started a real fascination with me. How was I able to live in this reality while this reality still continued? I found that incredibly fascinating. And I found that we can do that. We can see this wonderful reality, but live in this one. Totally. Where two never really meet because they're parallel. Bruce Lipton, when he talks about that energy field around, he talks about how what we created before, or the outside forces, are there in your field right now because you created them. Okay? But they're not agreeing with the new thing you are creating or becoming. It's not really creating, hon. It's becoming. Now, you're fighting that. That's why so many people go to, like, they cross the fire and they have all this belief, but then they go home and all these forces are still there impeding on their reality. Yeah, very interesting guy. And when it impedes on your reality, you end up falling into their reality instead of staying in your own. Do you see how it works? All right, so how do you beat that? You do the quantum jumping. The quantum jumping is a way that you get yourself into that theta, you get yourself into that trance, and you allow yourself to just parallel jump into, okay, I want to play the piano. I want to be an artist. I want to be in a world that creates beauty and safety for my sons. I want to be in a world where I am successful. I want to be in a world where the money is pouring in. And then you allow yourself to feel it, because guess what sends out the vibration? Guess what sets it into your soul? Guess what sets it into your subconscious mind? The heart. So you have to feel it. So what does that feel? Oh my gosh, when I am successful, I feel complete. When I feel like I'm successful, I feel like I have reached my goal. I am happy. I am content. I am peaceful. Just say, I'm using stuff, okay? And then when I go into that trance, I go by the feeling. I don't say I want to be successful. I want to be successful. No, because that doesn't go anywhere. You know, what does that look like? What? But you know what it feels like. And you jump into that version. Some call it a doppelganger or something like that. Into that version of you. And you see yourself in the future feeling that way. You see yourself doing the things. You can learn things this way. If I say, I want to be a really good pianist, and what would that feel like? And then I go and I see myself doing that. I see my older self. You can even go to your older self and ask and talk to that older version. I do that all the time to gain wisdom, to gain, I don't know, I find it really fun because the wisdom, she's never steered me wrong. I've never steered myself wrong. You know, it always tells me this is what's happening. You need to open your eyes to it. You know, you need to start writing this. You need to start looking at this. They'll tell me. It's jumping forward in your life. And because parallel realities are all running at the same time, it's just which one do you jump into and really activate? It's there. It's there for you to jump into. And that is what quantum jumping truly is. It is really, and you can go into past lives. You know, a past life regression is like this. That's a lot of quantum jumping. You can go, oh my gosh, you can go into, you can jump into other worlds. It's really endless, endless. And it really needs to be, just think about it. Instead of just saying those affirmations that a lot of them just kind of die in your head, and those little subtle beliefs that you haven't even recovered, you don't even know you're thinking, and yet they are sabotaging you. What if you could bypass all of that by quantum leaping? And when you quantum leap and you are actually becoming the aspects of that future you, right? You're becoming it here and now. Okay, now your energy field is solid because you know who you are becoming. You feel it in your heart totally. You can't be any other way. And then that old energy field outside of you that's so close because you created it, it falls away with a lot more ease. You'll be amazed how they just leave. The situations, the people just kind of evaporate. It's like they didn't exist in the beginning. It's amazing. Just FYI, as a teacher of meditation, giggling and crying during meditation is not a bad thing. Thank you so much, hon. So I wasn't a bad student. Well, the teacher thought so, but poo on her, right? Okay, and then does quantum jumping really produce real life results with your clients? Yes. Yes. In fact, that's why I don't need people to come to me that long. I really do teach them right away. I'm actually doing a retreat in Chattanooga. You know, when When I have that opening event, it's the illusions and the art of manifestation. I'm just getting you to start to believe. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get you. I give you the science, I give you the spirituality, I give you the beginnings of how do you want to feel, that kind of thing. I get you, I start opening the door. But for me to get you into that place of quantum jumping, I need to get you away so that you have the time and your mind is in a different place. You don't have to get home to the kids by 5 o'clock. You don't have to, I take away all the pressures so that you can suddenly really tune into you and how you want to feel and what is it you really want, you know? And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I want millions of dollars. Maybe it is. You just want to be happy. But maybe in your life, you have never felt happy. So if you get into this place and feel, what does that happiness, what is that? It's laughing, it's enjoying the moment. I try to get my heart into it. And then I jump into that version, onto that parallel reality. And I feel that future me. I see her. I talk to her. I learn from her and I bring it back into my field. Or you bring it back into this body, but you're already on that reality. You've jumped to reality physically. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I didn't think listen, I was journaling my first book, You Can't Escape from a Prison If You Don't Know You're in One. And it was just journaling. And when I went to see Bob Proctor, that was the first time I went to see him. I went to see him for something else, but all right. But that was the byproduct. And when I went to him, he said, "You're an author." And I said, "I am." But I went into my own little, I went into mine and I went into the future of myself as an author. I felt what it would feel like for me. And then I went into that and yeah, I got it. It felt right. It felt good. I liked it. And so it was easy for me to stay in that reality from forevermore. See how that works? Questions. Oh, come on, guys. There's got to be questions. This is not like, oh, you just think good thoughts and you're all set. This is much more. Does anybody have a question? Thank you, Inspiration TV. That was a very good question. All right, with the people on, anybody else? Because this is interesting stuff and you can do it. You just have to be brave, and trust. That's the biggest thing. Trust. Yeah. Quantum jumping is fun. But I am having this event in Chattanooga on April 28th, 29th, and 30th this year. Okay. At the Chattanooga. I love saying that. Chattanooga, the hotel in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's actually very beautiful. And we are going to definitely do a lot of quantum jumping. We're going to learn how to do that. I am going to lift the veil between this world and the other. Because why? Because that helps to build trust that you're doing the right things. And it's fun. And it's something you can take home. And so you can do it, right? And that's the fun thing. So, oh, yeah. Chatting with Alena. That is something I have on my website. And it is a subscription where you get to chat with me. And I always have topics, but oh my gosh, last time the people who were on there all had a common issue, believe it or not. I can't believe that. Look how the universe works. Isn't that incredible? They all had an aspect of this one concept that they were having trouble with. So we just changed the topic and we started talking about that. So it's very much an interpersonal back and forth. It's done on Zoom. I do it 2 times a month. And also I send other fun stuff, like little videos that help you, blogs that I know work. I might even send somebody else's who I think is really good. just to get you on your journey. And then it's always something we can talk about in our chats. It's really fun. And if you want and you're interested in that kind of thing, thank you for the heart, whoever did that. That's very sweet. If you go to alenachapman.com, Alena, it's Alena, Alena. Everybody has trouble with that. alenachapman.com, you will find it. It's Chats with Alena. Go there and search around. It's fun. There's a lot of stuff. People seem to really, really like the blog, which is good since I do it. And if you're not on our email list, you might like that, because I'll tell you right now, I do a universal note for every Wednesday, and people seem to really like that. Hey, and Maria, just FYI, I will send this out as a Zen master. Yes, I teach Zen priests how to fix their cracked rice bowls. Someday I have to meet you in person. I'm so serious. I love that. Okay, so guys, that is basically the difference between them. And they have distinct differences. It's just, where do you find yourself? For me, the remote viewing, because it's so sketchy, is hard for me to grasp. But for other people, they thrive in it. Okay? For me, astroplaning is everything. Quantum is everything. It's all what you like and what is right for you. But you know what? Start experimenting. And and then trust what you see. If you're really someone who doesn't trust, there's a good little exercise. And it's one that I always do. See, I've always had a vast imagination. So that helps. Okay. So how do you build that imagination? Because if you can trust your imagination, then this is just 1 or 2 steps ahead. That's it. So just grab a cup of tea or something like that. You don't drink alcohol. That's going to alter your vision. Just drink something benign for now, like hot tea, hot cocoa, something like that, and relax. And if it's warm out, go sit under a tree, because the energy is incredible and that will help you. And then tickle the imagination. How do you do that? You ask it questions about something you want to dream about. Way back when I do this for everything, but one story that's the best is when I used to be a professor, an associate professor of music in the colleges. And I used to teach voice, music history, things like that. See this stern person. I was never stern. Anyway, so then the chairman called me in and said, "Hey, I want you to start a women's choir." I said, "I don't have a degree in that. What are you thinking?" And he said, "No, I want you to do it anyway. I've heard your choir is so good." So I started this women's choir. And I thought, what in the heck am I going to do? And so I went home and I sat under the tree with a cup of tea, just like I'm telling you. And I started to tickle the imagination. I asked questions like, okay, so I'm starting this choir. What is the purpose? Why do these girls want to come? Why are people going to come listen to us? What is it that I really want them to gain from this? See, and then in between, I would answer in such incredible, I'd let my mind just take all sorts of forms, like I started seeing them singing in really cool ways and phrasing that was different than anybody else. And I would see them doing things in their sound production that was, by the end of it, we were not just singing and being correct in the music. We were actually painting a picture that everyone in the audience would be able to see in their imagination. That choir grew from 10 people to something like 75 by the next semester. And that is the choir that got me ushered down, literally ushered down by car to get my doctorate in choral conducting by someone who was a top female choir conductor in the state. It's your imagination that leads you to all other worlds. And it's the imagination that brings you into your future or parallel realities. It really is. So trust it. Anything you can imagine, you can hold in your hand. Anything. We just have to trust it. Great men have said that, but it was even Joshua or Jesus who said you must trust your imagination. And he said it to Mary Magdalene, who said, I saw you in a vision. And he said, trust I was there. What more do you need? Right? So start to try this. And for those of you who have just joined us, hey, look and see. We have remote viewing. You'll have to listen to this wonderful astroplaning and quantum jumping, which is the true secret to manifestation. So I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I hope you come on to more of my lives. And if you like this one, subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of shorts that are fun and a little bit informative, and just nice little things that help you live your life in a better way, and most importantly, give you the bravery to start exploring. That's what it's all about. All right, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Get out there and experiment, please, okay? And oh my gosh, if you do, please come back and comment and tell me what you've done. Don't leave this as a dead end. I hate that. Do a little bit of, you can come back on my YouTube. This will be there and tell me, hey, Alena, I just tried this and this is where I went. Nothing makes my heart sing more than that. I'm serious. So I would really, really like that. All right. Okay, guys, love you all. And if you're interested in coming to my wonderful, what is it, Unabashedly Me retreat in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I still laugh at that, but it's a beautiful place. Then look at alenachapman.com or let me know in the comments. All right, love you all. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you, Becky. Talarico. God, I love that. Oh, bye-bye.